Welcome again to another final video review of the FIFA World Cup 2026. 19th July 2026 finally comes to an end with Spain becoming the second time World Cup champions after defeating the defending champions Argentina in extra time. 1-0 victory, goal coming in from Fernan Torres. Absolutely a very cagey game in the first half and ended up becoming more open in the extra time with red cards and certain incidents after the match, which was quite controversial. Emotions are running high, and yeah, all the stuff that all of us would probably, see in the next few days. More and more stories and highlights you can actually see. Picture here: Donald Trump um, giving the World Cup trophy to the Spanish team. Messi, of course, in tears. But of course, they are, it's hard to lose in the final when you can always, of course, win again. And but it was Spain's day. It was Yamal's day, and I think apart from Messi, I think Emmanuel Martinez is such a brilliant goalkeeper for Argentina. I think he is one of the guys that I think he's the reason that Argentina were champions in the last World Cup. You remember that last minute save and penalties, and again this World Cup, he has been absolutely delivering for Argentina. I mean, if he retires in the near future, Argentina would need to have. It's a big shoe to be replaced by him for Martinez, of course, against a Spanish side that only conceded one goal in this whole tournament. With increased matches, increased number of teams, it's such an achievement, of course, for Unai Simeon, the Spanish goalkeeper. And of course, incident of yellow cards. This is all the highlights, second half. Of course, the man, Lamine Yamal, 19 years old, winning his first World Cup, and of course, completing football major tournaments. And yeah, this is actually a signing off. Given the baton, of course, given to Lionel Messi, uh, just like Ronaldinho gave the baton to Messi, and now Messi, of course, giving it to Yamal. Of course, these two, I don't think so. They are friends in real life, of course, but yeah, of course, it's always good to win. And I think in the end of the day, looking back from the match, everybody agreed that the Argentinian would just bottle up. The Spain did the same thing as what they did against France. They didn't give any chance. They blocked every options. It was just nowhere that Argentina could do. And looking at the stats, of course, in this World Cup, Kylian Mbappe will remain as the Golden Boot winner with 10 goals. Lionel Messi 8 goals, and Erling Haaland 7. Of course, got the players Jude Bellingham, Dembele. Assists, of course, Michael Olise will, of course, become the most number of assists in the World Cup tournament. Yellow cards and, of course, red cards. Enzo Fernandez, of course, the most monumental red card, I think, that changed, I think, the dynamics. I think if it wasn't for the red card, if it would have gone to penalty shootout, you got two of the greatest goalkeeper, but I think Martinez, with the experience, would have been more impactful, and would have maybe, if it was a penalty shootout, I think Argentina had a better chance to go to and win it. Looking at the experience and looking at Martinez, of course, still a lot of things can happen. But of course, what happened is Argentina lost the final against Spain, and Spain, of course, after 16 years. I think it's not too long of a wait comparing to England, waiting since 1966. Finally, of course, Spain has found their rhythm again. And after a few editions of the World Cup, losing earlier on quarterfinals around 16, Spain has finally again restored power. And of course, it's a big, big emotions for them going on to, especially, of course, from the La Liga. If you look at the knockout journey, I think Spain had the hardest path comparing to all. They met they met, of course, Austria earlier on. They met Portugal. They met Belgium. These were all very powerful, of course, European side, and they of course met France in the semis, which I think that semi, of course, decided which team. If Spain, of course, beat France, which was most favorite side to win, they would have, of course, become the world champions. Similarly, of course, in any other World Cup edition before this, any team that defeated the best team in the tournament would eventually become the champions. I think Spain again did this in 2010 when they beat Germany 1-0 from Puyol's header, and of course, eventually ending up winning the World Cup again in extra time. They won it still. I think Spain have a 100% record in the finals, and they won it all in after extra time. Iniesta scoring that goal, remember, 16 years ago in South Africa, and again, of course, here today, Ferran Torres in New York, winning it for them. So, of course, well, brilliant performance from them. Of course, this World Cup has been a very ups and downs, very controversial World Cup. I think nobody saw Spain as a team that could go far. I think the World Cup they weren't the favorites after a few editions. They did not really. I mean, they drew their first game against Cape Verde. A lot of people had doubts then, and not knowing Cape Verde was such a good team in the end. Of course, almost giving Argentina problems in the round of 32, and slowly on they had their pace. They didn't really become the talk of the town, you would say, for the whole journey until the very end. Similarly, of course, I think past teams have done it before. I think even Argentina, they weren't really the best team in the last World Cup. France in 2018, nobody thought they would go to the finals and win it. Similarly, of course, Germany in 2014, they were the best team. And I think 2006, Italy in 2006, when they met France, remember the incident, Materazzi, and they won it in the penalties. I think that time nobody thought France would have won it. But of course, in terms of pathways, you always see teams, getting tested. Even if you look back, France, and they had a very good side, but of course they went against Sweden, they went against Paraguay, Morocco. They had very good, very of course good teams against them, but not the best teams, I would say. And of course, Argentina, they have been quite lucky to all the way until they met England, and they of course they won against England in that semi final, and yeah, I think it is what it is. Of course, if you talk about analysis, it's never going to end well. So, of course, in Wikipedia here, already updated champions Spain, second title, runners up Argentina, third place England and France. A bit of a pattern, I would say, that even in the last World Cup, you had, of course, France becoming the defending champions and losing once they were finalists back in 2018. They were champions. And then, of course, losing it to Argentina in the next World Cup edition. So who knows in the next World Cup coming, which will be held in Spain. Spain, of course, and Portugal and Morocco are the host nation for the next World Cup. Uh, well, any of course, Cristiano Ronaldo fans would say, maybe a bit of his last chance, maybe to have for redemption in 2013, 4 years time. They also have some, of course, the centenary match in Argentina, Paraguay, and Uruguay, marking the 100th anniversary since the addition of the FIFA World Cup competition, which originated back in the 1930s. The first host nation was, of course, I think, or Uruguay. And of course, yeah, would Spain become, of course, again, going all the way to the finals and losing it to a new team? Will the curse continue all the way? So, anyways, top scorer, Kylian Mbappe with 10 goals. Best player, Rodri. Best young player, Pau Kubarsi, Unai Simon, fair play, of course, with the Netherlands. I think previously best player, Messi, young player Enzo Fernandez. It was such a, such a shame that Enzo this time around was sent red card in the final tournament. What a shame! And even a lot of fighting incidents that happened after the whistle blown, and still there were punches thrown by Argentinian players. Such a disgrace. But of course, yes, emotions are high. A lot of people, even Egyptian fans, who weren't really, of course, who weren't really pleased with the result when they were, of course, defeated by Argentina, and of course, a lot of them were rooting for Spain this coming World Cup. Last, of course, World Cup, fair play to England. Emilio Martinez, of course, won the best. Kylian Mbappe. Nobody, of course, thought that Kylian Mbappe again becoming the top goal scorer for this World Cup edition as well. So it's been, I think, is it? Or of course, in 2018 it was Harry Kane with 6 goals. Kylian Mbappe at the time, best young player. Fair play to Spain. So again, Kylian Mbappe creating history by becoming the one of the players to have top scorers in 2 consecutive World Cups. So absolutely a brilliant job for him, Mbappe. And of course, well, yeah, going back all the way to 2014 here, where the last time I think Messi, he would have, of course, reminiscing of how he lost the finals back in Brazil, where they faced Germany. And yeah, of course, at the time, best player was Messi, young player Paul Pogba. Wow, Pogba was a young player back then. Neuer and Colombia. Let's look back. Fair play. This is the time where Spain won. So 16 years later, Spain winning it again. Iker Casillas, young player Thomas Muller. This was so long ago. Muller, already a retired player, best player Forlan, and there were 5 top scorers at the time. So yeah, this is how time really flies. The next World Cup, I think it won't be that far from now. 2030 will be host nation, of course, is 3 host nations, and of course 2034, 8 years from now. Well, 8 years from now, who knows what team would emerge to become the champion? Maybe England. I think the England squad, I think they would become champions again, but it's going to take them some time to win it. Italy, maybe some sort of a comeback after not qualifying for 3 consecutive World Cups. So it's in the end of the day, it's the end. FIFA World Cup 2026 comes to a close. All my predictions that I did in the previous videos were wrong. I predicted France to become the champions, and then of course predicted Argentina to go to the finals. Also losing that one as well. And well, congratulations, of course, to Spain. Very nice performance for them. And yeah, in the end of the day, it's all done and over for this FIFA World Cup 2026. See you all again, of course, in 2030 in Morocco, Spain, and Portugal with 3 centenaries matches that will be played in that edition. And who knows, at the time, it will be a 64 game, 64 country participation. So more countries that would participate. Maybe this will be the only World Cup with 48 teams. And what can I say? A very a World Cup full of controversial, I would say, in terms of decisions made, political decisions, especially first and foremost the entry of Iranian players that were barged entry. They can't actually, of course, um, live in the US. They needed to go to Mexico to, of course, rest and play for the next game. And then they were controversial about referees from Somalia who were denied entry. And of course, Balagon, the US national team, Team USA player who had a red card and then who was, of course, dismissed after Donald Trump requested from the FIFA president Infantino, which is absolutely disgrace. I mean, come on. I mean, in that case, I think a lot of Argentinians would ask Trump to disallow Enzo Fernandez a red card and may rematch the final if they could, which is absolutely ridiculous in my opinion. I think sports should not. There's one thing that that should not be in and of course be of course impacted by politics is of course the world sports, and supposedly it should have been that way. um, I think a lot of people, in terms of the ball, Trionda, a lot of people were saying it was quite a nice ball. It had that Jabulani funny effects a bit. It had a bit of controversial, not as controversial, but a bit. Yeah, the ball seems to be very very much, quite speedy at certain times. Um, I think in this tournament there was so many last minute goals. Credit to Argentina becoming the contributor. So many goals that were scored in the end of the extra time, where you have the extra time in 7 to 8 minutes since the creation of VAR. And I think, yeah, it is, the stadiums, hydration breaks. I think hydration breaks will only be for this World Cup, a bit of memory, of course, and even for the halftime show, which which of course was quite funny. I think Ronaldo, the phenomenon Ronaldo and Ronaldinho, making an appearance in the final game. Um, in the end of the day, I think the best team, the most, what I wouldn't say the best team. I would say the most deservingly team won. Spain, of course, winning the World Cup. Lamine Yamal. If any, if sometimes, I think, my opinion in young players, that of course, winning the World Cup in when they're young and completing it when they're young, 19 years old, winning everything, Nations League, Euros. There's always this opinion that they are set for greatness. They will actually have a more chance to win it. That is not really the case. Take example of Ronaldinho. When he won the World Cup, he was just what, uh 21 years old, 20 early 20s, and that was his only World Cup that he won for Brazil. And he won everything then. He won 2000, he won the Copa America. I think he won the best player award, and that's it. And even it's not as easy. Even at Mbappe, I mean, back in 2018, everybody thought, wow, Mbappe is going to win. He hasn't won the Champions League. He have yet to win another World Cup. Hasn't won the Euros yet. So similarly, of course, Lionel Messi. Back in the day when he was in Argentina, it needed him to almost retire from Argentina squad, back in 2021, winning the Copa and then the World Cup, and then again defeat in the final. So if you're talking about a fairy tale, I mean, for Lionel Messi, I mean, if he should have just retired last time around when he of course won with Argentina, and but of course he still wanted to show that he has still wanted to lift up his team. But of course, yeah, a bit of pity, of course, for him that he had three finalists, of course, and losing two. I mean, he could have, maybe wanted to at least have more winning records than losing records. So yeah, similarly to 2014 when he lost the finals. Um, the I think this mentality, and I think a media bias, in terms of young players winning it all, and they are just, wow, it's so fascinating. I mean, for me it's not fascinating. It's just that it's their luck, it's their time in that career path that they want it. And sometimes you're never going to win it again. I mean, we look at a lot of previous examples, even the Spanish squad in 2010. Everybody thought, this Spanish squad would, win at least 2, 3 World Cups. And at the end of the day, the last time they did it was in 2010, and that's it. And they had to wait 16 years for a new generation of the Spanish team to win again. And similarly, of course, where people thought, Brazil, in 2006, golden generation, Belgium golden generation could win something. I think more, of course, is a purely assumption, which sometimes I think, just give the man or the footballer a chance to grow and to enjoy whatever they have achieved at a young age, because you're never going to know what have they achieved in young age. They might be their only achievement, and after that they might decline. They might not win it again. It's not easy to win back to backs, of course. Yeah, I mean, that's why, Pele, Maradona, those guys, especially Pele, if you talk about the World Cup, absolute legends, of course, winning it, three finals, winning it three times, four World Cups in his career, and he retired as a glorious star in the 1970 World Cup. I think, if I was Messi, I would have, just retired the last World Cup. I won the Copa, I won the finals. What is else to be proved? And the debate between Messi and Ronaldo should have ended 4 years ago. And till to this day, there are people still comparing. Oh, Ronaldo is better. Messi is better. For me, wise, both of these players are great, but Messi is a top notch better because he won the World Cup, and he's a more complete player, more Ballon d'Ors than Ronaldo is. And I mean, before this, everybody, I mean, Ronaldo won the Euros, he won the Nations League, sorry, the Euros with Portugal, but he hasn't won the World Cup. So, you know, comparing him to Messi, of course, they are both great players. It's like comparing a Ferrari, to a McLaren. It's not comparing a Ferrari to a Lada, of course. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, these are the footballers of our generation, and the way that they came to the football back 20 years ago, and still to this day making headlines, is basically something that we should admire. I don't think there will be any more figure in I'm not sure Lemar, Mbappe, Haaland, or would even have that longevity to withstand. I mean, of course, I hope they will, but you know, yeah, I mean, there are a lot of players in the last few years, Benzema, and it the consistency is very hard. It's very hard to produce. But yes, of course, for us footballing fans, myself, I'm not an avid football. I just love to comment on football things. Yeah, it's nice I mean, the entertainments, they're sportsmen, and for us, it's nice to see them, doing miracles in our lifetime. I think back in the day, people were, same thing. People were discussing about Pele and Maradona, Cruyff, or Zidane. Similarly, of course, till to this day. And I think, yeah, I think talking about World Cups, I think even Ronaldo had a much more, the phenomenon. He won it in '94, or lost it in '98, and won it again in 2002. So yeah, he of course, in terms of modern football, I think he's still better than Messi in terms of World Cup only achievement. In terms of total career achievement, of course, Messi is far greater as a player. And I mean, he has, without Messi, I would clearly say Argentina would not have gone further. They would have lost maybe during the Egypt game. In the Egypt game, they would have lost. I think the normal Argentina without Messi, and coping the Argentina without Messi after this is going to be something. And history repeats itself, because the last time Argentina won the World Cup was with Maradona, and the next time Argentina is going to win the World Cup, or even going to the finals, or even having an impact in the World Cup, is they need to produce somebody like Messi or Maradona. And until they find that player, after Messi retires, I think this is probably going to be his last World Cup. I don't think he has nothing to prove. I mean, if he is that crazy, he might go on again and try to win the next one. But Um, what Argentina fans or Argentina Football Association needs to understand is, maybe they're going to lose a lot of the managers. Scaloni, maybe he will retire. Messi might retire after this. So are they going to be going back to the dark ages? Even for France, I think France at least have some good players. Of course, even for Argentina, they have good, reliable young players, of course. But managers, who are they going to find? Some sort of some sort of direction. If not, Argentina are going back. They are going to enter their dark ages again. And of course, of course, every time when Argentina, you can actually see the comparison. When Argentina are doing well, Brazil today are left in the dark. Similarly, of course, when Brazil were doing well back in the 90s, back in the time of Pelé, at that time, Argentina was not doing well. So vice versa, there's always an up era for each side. So enough of me rattling about. I think this was a very, very good tournament. Apart from the controversial things that happen, of course, America being America with their, biasness and their political statements and all. This was a very good World Cup. I think Canada, Mexico, United States have been absolutely brilliant. Mexico, of course, giving Iranian players, a chance to of course play in the World Cup, giving them the host nation and hospitality for them. So very good. Apart from that, I think it's a very nice World Cup. A lot of drama. Every World Cup, of course, has their dramas. And yeah, thank you for watching. And of course, see you again next time. Goodbye.